Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a story that's both incredibly sad and inspiring.
Definitely a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, it's about this woman's strength in the face of forced marriage and her unwavering search for happiness.
It's amazing, honestly, and we get her story from two different sources.
Right. Translated excerpts from a podcast interview in Arabic and then a YouTube video transcript.
And in both, it's the same woman telling her story, sharing her journey.
Exactly. And today, we're going to explore those challenges, her resilience, and where she finds happiness, even when it's in the most unexpected places.
It's really about trying to understand the emotional core of her experiences.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
Absolutely. Right from the start, what struck me was the huge disconnect between the expectations surrounding her first marriage and the reality she ended up facing.
Totally. She was only 14 when she was married off.
In Cairo, no less.
Right, a major city, not some isolated village. And her family justified it by saying, well, she was physically mature.
It's wild to think that was their justification.
I know. Makes you wonder about the societal norms that could lead to such a decision. Like you said, being in a city, you'd think those kinds of views wouldn't hold so strongly.
It's a complicated situation for sure.
And what's even more striking is the parents' motivation. It was purely practical, almost transactional.
Oh yeah. They saw a wealthy man with property and status and figured that would translate into a better life for them.
Exactly. It really exposes how, in certain cultures, children can be seen as tools for social climbing.
It's sad but true. Their happiness is secondary, almost irrelevant.
Which is just heartbreaking because as we delve deeper into her story, we see how that hope for a comfortable life was completely shattered.
It's 8 years of just constant hardship and abuse.
The sources go into detail about strict food rationing and physical abuse that was so severe she often needed casts.
It's unimaginable, and all this while raising 2 young children, a son and a daughter.
It's just gut-wrenching to think about what she went through.
And what's really interesting is how the podcast interview highlights this turning point for her.
What do you mean?
Well, as she matured, she became more and more aware of her situation.
Right.
She talks about how she couldn't bear the abuse anymore. It wasn't just the physical pain, but the realization of the injustice, the complete lack of love and support.
She was growing, evolving, and realizing what a real relationship should be.
Exactly.
And, the story about her mother visiting is just so poignant.
Oh, I know, right? Where she sees her daughter being abused and tries to intervene.
Yes. And the husband throws her mother out, but even after witnessing that, the mother still sees him as a good man because he's wealthy.
It's messed up, right? It shows how deeply ingrained this idea is that wealth equals well-being, even when it comes at the cost of safety and dignity.
For the mother, the money just completely overshadowed everything else.
And that's the really tragic part.
But thankfully, she eventually found a way out.
At 20 years old, she secretly files for divorce while still living with this abuser.
Which takes so much courage and strength.
Absolutely. But the price she had to pay was immense.
I know, it's heartbreaking. She had to give up custody of her children and any financial rights.
It's just devastating. It really highlights the danger she was in, especially when we learn later that he had threatened her with a knife.
Her survival was literally at stake. And it makes the sacrifice she had to make even more gut-wrenching.
For a mother to have to give up her children like that, just to escape, I can't even imagine.
It's truly awful. And you would hope that after all that, after escaping such a horrible marriage, she would finally find some peace.
Right. You'd think that's the happy ending.
But then she goes back home to take care of her sick father, and almost immediately, the pressure to marry again starts.
It's unbelievable. Just 4 months after her divorce, her parents are already trying to set her up with another wealthy man.
It's like they learned nothing. Their focus is still on financial gain, not their daughter's happiness.
It's that same cycle repeating itself, and it shows just how little control she had over her own life.
But this time, she resists.
Yeah, she gets engaged to this guy who seems well off, but then decides she can't go through with it.
And she purposely creates problems to break off the engagement.
It's almost like a quiet rebellion. She's drawing a line saying enough is enough.
It's a small act of defiance, but a significant one. She's starting to claim her agency.
And it leads to a truly unexpected turn in her story.
And that's where she finds happiness. And not in wealth or status, but in real human connection.
It's beautiful in a way.
It is. She meets this man who opens a shop near her house, and he proposes to her that very same day.
Love at first sight, huh?
Well, maybe not love, but definitely a strong connection. And they get married within 15 days.
Wow, that's fast.
And of course, her mother is totally against it.
All because he wasn't rich. Right.
Exactly. But this time, she stands her ground. It's like she finally realizes that she deserves kindness and respect above all else.
And that's a huge shift for her. It challenges our usual ideas of what defines a good life.
It does. And it's so powerful because despite her mother's protests, she chooses happiness on her own terms.
The contrast between what her mother wanted for her and what she actually found is remarkable. Her mom wanted wealth and status, but she just wanted someone kind.
She literally describes him as the kindest person I've ever met. And you have to remember the abuse she suffered in her first marriage.
It makes that statement even more powerful. It's like she's finally found what she was always looking for, a loving and supportive partner.
But it doesn't mean their life is easy.
No, far from it.
They live in a basement apartment under a stairwell with no windows or even a balcony. They sleep on the floor. It's basically poverty.
But even in that situation, she describes it as paradise because of the emotional well-being their relationship brings.
Which really forces us to rethink what happiness actually means. It's not always about material wealth.
It's about having love and security in your relationships.
But sadly, her mother doesn't stop interfering.
No, she doesn't.
Even with this new husband, she faces constant criticism for her choices.
Her mother even publicly humiliates her, calling her a beggar because of how they live. It's just cruel.
It really highlights the incredible societal pressures and expectations that can weigh on individuals, even when they're trying to do what's best for themselves.
And the impact of this stress is evident in her husband's health.
It's so sad. He ends up having a stroke because of the constant harassment from her mother.
It's just heartbreaking, and it shows how the emotional burden can have devastating physical consequences. He was bedridden and paralyzed on his right side for a year and a half.
And imagine the stress he must have been under to literally bleed from his ears, nose, and mouth.
It's just awful.
And through all of this, she becomes the sole provider for her family while pregnant.
Talk about strength and resilience.
I know. It's really amazing. She sells small things near a school just to make ends meet.
And even after giving birth, she keeps working.
She's carrying this incredible weight, both physically and emotionally.
And her mother just doesn't let up. She even starts accusing her of stealing, trying to drive a wedge between her and her husband.
It's like she's determined to ruin her daughter's happiness. And she keeps telling her to divorce her husband, promising to find her someone better, meaning richer, of course.
It's like this obsession with wealth just blinds her to her daughter's actual happiness and well-being.
And this pressure doesn't stop. Even after the children are born, it's just constant.
But what's incredible is how the daughter still shows her mother respect.
I know, right? She doesn't lash out or confront her harshly, even though she has every right to.
It shows the complexities of family dynamics and cultural expectations. There's this deep-rooted sense of obligation to honor your parents, even when they're wrong.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about the inner turmoil she must be going through.
For sure. And then there's this detail about the mother showing up unannounced late at night.
Because their basement apartment doesn't even have a proper lock on the door.
It's a constant invasion of their privacy.
And just another example of the power imbalance in their relationship.
Despite all this, her poverty, the harassment, her husband's illness, she's completely committed to him.
She says, and I quote, "If I am bones above bones, I will stay with him."
That's so powerful. It shows the depth of her love and loyalty.
And it completely rejects the materialistic values her mother keeps trying to force on her.
It's a choice to prioritize love over wealth, even when it means hardship.
And ultimately, the main reason she stays in that difficult situation is because of how affordable the apartment is.
It comes down to basic survival.
It's a harsh reality, but it shows the difficult decisions she faces every day.
The sources make it clear that she's just exhausted.
She's been through so much, and she's still going through it.
Her resilience is truly remarkable.
It is. And just to give a bit more context, her husband still suffers from paralysis on his right side.
He can only move a little with the cane.
And his health is still really fragile. Any stress can trigger another episode.
It's a tough situation.
But it's interesting because her mother, meanwhile, is doing quite well financially.
Yeah, and she even runs a charity.
Which makes you wonder about where all those donations are actually going, you know?
It definitely adds another layer to the story and raises questions about the mother's true motivations.
Especially when you consider how little support she gives her own daughter.
And to top it off, she even suggests her daughter divorce her current husband after they have children together.
And she keeps offering to find her another husband, a wealthier one.
It's like this obsession with wealth is her driving force. It's really unsettling.
And we have to remember, this is a woman who escaped a truly dangerous situation. Her first husband threatened her with a knife.
It's a stark reminder of the violence she fled.
And it really emphasizes the strength it took for her to leave that abusive marriage.
Her entire journey is a testament to the human will to survive and to find happiness, no matter the obstacles.
It's true. This deep dive has been a journey through so many emotions, sadness, anger, but also immense admiration for this woman's strength.
It's a story that stays with you.
It does, and I think it leaves us with a lot to think about.
Definitely. It challenges our assumptions about what a good life looks like.
And it shows how deeply societal pressures and family expectations can impact individual lives.
Her story is about the courage to choose love and kindness over wealth and status.
Even when it means facing constant hardship.
And I think it challenges all of us to consider what truly matters in life.
What are we willing to sacrifice for happiness and genuine connection?
It's a question worth pondering.
It is.